My son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need
too.
my seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line, and a new spoiler, and a new trunk.
We can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show too, huh?
Well, as a matter of fact, join me every Monday at 10 for auto repair with personal care here on The Source.
Of course you do.
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA.
Ocala.
All right, 25 minutes before 10 o'clock, let's talk about love, relationships. You know, I've always thought, Robin, now you're going to disagree, but I always thought that us guys had a way different circumstance than you ladies, although maybe things have changed because of the times. You know, just so everybody knows, I'm 60, so you know. So this goes way back. But it seemed like us guys, we had to get the nerve to ask you girls, and you had to wait for us to ask. It was like kind of crazy, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
And you go to a place, I remember going like to, I even hesitate to say the word discotheque, but go to a disco. Remember those days?
Oh, yeah.
Going to a disco,
Yes.
right? And it's so loud, you couldn't hear anything anybody said. And you say, well, these girls are here to dance. I'm not really a dancer, but I'm looking for somebody. It was a terrible place to find somebody. And then you end up, and at the workplace, it's like, well, she's not really here to look for a date, but she looks pretty cute. Maybe I should ask her out. And who knows what she's thinking, because how do you know?
Right.
But nowadays with this online dating thing, the girl on the screen is there for that very reason. You know she's there because she's also looking. So it kind of levels it out a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Now, I've never done this. I've never done this, and I know you haven't either. But a lot of people have, and they've done it with mixed reports. We've had a couple of different people on talking about this. We have a book here that might help out a lot. Troy Pummill is on the phone, and Judy Day is also on the phone, and I think they fell in love this way, correct?
Yes, they did.
Am I right?
Yep.
It says here, Troy is an inventor, a consultant, an entrepreneur, the co-founder of MagicalMatches.com, which I'm sure you're going to hear about more. And Judy Day is a nurse, a registered nurse. She ran a high-altitude hospital.
Yes.
What does that mean? Oh, at the base of Mount Everest.
Right.
Oh, it really is high altitude.
High altitude.
Oh, literally high altitude.
That's right.
While working as an intensive care unit registered nurse.
That's right.
And somehow they found each other on the internet, and they've written a book called The Mirror Effect. I don't know what that is, but I'm curious now. More Than Soulmates, 6 steps to finding your magical match using online dating. Let's record this one, make sure people can share it. Somebody's going to say, you know what I heard on the radio today? Let's see if this works.
I'm going to Mount Everest.
Troy and Judy, good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Good morning, Robin and Larry. How are you doing?
Good. Where are you right now?
We are in sunny California. The sun is just rising here.
The L.A. area, the Los Angeles area?
Santa Cruz, just south of Silicon Valley.
Okay. So everything I said, is it accurate, or did I make any mistakes? You guys, you're a couple, right?
We are
Correct.
a couple.
And you found each other online?
We did.
How long ago?
This would be 5 years ago now?
5 years ago. A
So
little bit over 5 years ago.
So, Judy, I have a question for the lady, for ladies. When you go online, don't you think that guys are not trustworthy? I mean, how do you trust? I don't know. I mean, I know guys. A lot of guys go on there, they're just looking for sex. I'm not saying everybody, but how do you know who's for real? How did you know Troy was for real?
I think you can tell by people's communication, just like in the regular world. So if you're online and you just get people winking on you or saying, hey, you look sexy, well, that might not be somebody you want to talk to. And the other thing that you can do is you can write a profile that really reflects what you're looking for. So in my case, I wrote a profile that started by saying, not for the faint of heart. And I talked about how I was looking for a very deeply intimate relationship, and one that was serious, where the man could truly show up and wanted to be there and wanted to be emotionally available, et cetera, et cetera. And I probably only had just a few people really respond to me. And the people who did were awesome, heartfelt, wonderful men.
Oh, really? So how did Troy win? What did he do different?
Well, he's the most heartfelt, awesome, wonderful man out of all of them.
So, Troy, when you started doing this, I mean, you must have been aware that, oh my gosh, I got to make sure I don't look like a creep, because probably a large percentage of other guys are creeps. So what did you do to make sure it didn't seem like you were one of them?
I did very much the same thing. I discovered the mirror effect on a first date, and from then on, it profoundly changed my life and everything that I did. I was married for 20 years before, so I had been down the path of difficult relationships and friction and all that work. And when I discovered the mirror effect and making that deep connection with people, it caused me to change my profile in the way that I write. And I wrote a profile very much like Judy's, very deep, very core-centered, and that's how we found each other.
Okay, so I have a question, and then I need you to explain what the mirror effect is, obviously. But the question is, when you say first date, does that include the online time that you spent communicating, or is the first date the first in-person date? Is that what you mean?
The first in-person date.
Okay. So obviously you did something right if Judy said, yeah, let's meet. Where'd you guys meet? What was the first date?
Where did we go for our first date?
First date was dinner at a restaurant called Limoncello.
See, you're supposed to remember that, Troy.
I had the pork chops.
she even remember what she ate.
Good for you.
See, you're supposed to remember that, Troy. You should have taken notes.
We had the little romantic table in the corner.
Oh, that's
I
right.
do remember that.
Oh, now we're good for you. Good save.
It's very unusual to go to a restaurant for a first date, but the process that Troy's talking about, our 6-step process for dating, is one that allows people, when it is time to meet, to actually possibly do something more than just coffee. Because by the time in our process that you're ready to date, you should already have filtered out everybody that you don't want to meet and be left with only people that you would truly share some kind of connection with.
No, that's smart. Okay. And is magicalmatches.com one of those sites that you can do this with?
Correct, yes.
Okay.
That's our website, yes.
And that connection is very mirrored, because whatever your emotional state is, you like to share that with the other person. If you have career goals, the other person has to have that same drive as you. You have to get everything out of the way, like family and friends and things like that. So you have to be comfortable with the other person, because they are, in essence, you.
That's absolutely correct. We like to say that people marry for their similarities, but they divorce because of their differences. So the mirror effect is an effect. Before you even go on a date, you're going to go through a process that's going to make sure that you match and mirror on the most core elements of your person and personality, your values, what you're looking for, as well as your logistics.
Okay, so we need you to really explain this better, because it sounds like it's not, is the better way to say it. It's not one of these how to pick up girls techniques, right? I mean, it's not like you mirror her and she'll say, wow, you're just like me. It's not that, is it?
No,
Okay.
It's not that. It's not that thing where you sit at the table and when she moves her arm.
Right, I've seen that video. I know, that's crazy. I don't believe that at all. Okay, so what is this then? And by the way, is that you on the cover of the website? I just went to your website. Is that the two of you getting ready to kiss?
Oh, yes, that's us perfectly getting ready to kiss in an Italian restaurant someplace in Palermo. I wish.
Oh, okay. I detected tongue-in-cheek. I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's not you. Okay, but that looks nice. That's a nice scene right there. Okay.
It is. It's a good idea of what the mirror effect is. It's about that connection. So the mirror effect is really about finding two people who are extremely alike, which often reveals a rare, deep connection that leads to the deepest of loves. We like to liken it to identical twins. We know that identical twins really have this almost supernatural deep connection that they share that gives them really deep, profound love for each other. And so when we do that with people who aren't twins, who we take and we try to match them as close as possible, the same beliefs, the same core, the same spirit, the same soul, we find that very often they really do mimic that twin connection and find really deep, profound love for one another.
So I'm guessing that the website does this somehow with technology, or the computer somehow. It's kind of like the old computer thing, right, that you find in the mall, right, with all those cards. I don't know if you're old enough to remember that, but
Punch cards.
It's actually a combination of the technology, but it's really the fact that we're an educational site. So when somebody would go and join our website, magicalmatches.com, not only would they have a subscription like they would to any other online dating site, but we also would send them a copy of our book so that they could read it and become immersed in our philosophy, where we also explain the 6 steps of finding this mirror relationship.
Okay.
So we walk them through how to filter people and then what to do on their dates and how to actually go in and evaluate their dates and evaluate their connections and evaluate relationships. So we kind of walk them through the process.
Judy Day and Troy Pummill are our guests, and they are in Southern California and in love. Are you two married?
Yes.
We are.
And married, and they met each other online. This this Saturday is Valentine's Day. If you're alone and you want to figure out what you can do so that you're not alone, just stay tuned because we've got to take a little break and we'll tell you more. Plus, the book is called The Mirror Effect. If you want to check out the website right away, it's magicalmatches.com. We'll be right back with your questions. If you have any, feel free to call in 622-9622. We'll be right back.
myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Sunshine today with a high of 64 to 68, then clear and chilly tonight. Those ranging from the upper 30s in a few inland spots to 45 along the coast. Tomorrow, mostly sunny and breezy with a high of 68 to 72. Then on Friday, mostly sunny and noticeably cooler with highs ranging from the mid-50s in the northernmost part of the zone to the low 60s in the south. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Where did you sit when the dust settled?
Richard Petty goes back in front. They both spin. They're in the wall.
Where did you sit when the tempers flared?
And now it appears we may have a fist fight. Drivers and helmets.
Or when standing ovation took on a whole new meaning?
All the pit crews out on pit lane to salute Dale Earnhardt, who is...
Well, from where we sit, this Daytona 500 is the chance of a lifetime. Because this is your final opportunity to experience the great American race from some of the classic seats that have witnessed some of the most famous moments in racing history. And it's your first chance to say hello to the future in all new grandstands where fans will bear witness to all the legendary moments yet to come. So where will you sit this February 22nd? Don't miss your one and only chance to experience Daytona at a unique moment in history. The Daytona 500, Sunday, February 22nd. To guarantee your seats, call 1-800-PIT-SHOP or visit Daytona500.com.
Whether it's a car accident, storm damage, or a fire, when the unthinkable happens, it doesn't matter if you save money in 15 minutes. In this moment, it doesn't matter if your neighbor has the same insurance you do. In this moment, what matters is that your independent insurance agent and the company that stands behind them have you covered. Auto Owners Insurance, the no-problem people. Visit George Mangan Insurance in Ocala today at manganinsurance.com.
All right, 12 minutes before 10 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. Recently, Robin, somebody sent me on Facebook a picture of like a homeroom class picture in a yearbook from when I was like 16 years old, and I'm in the picture. Okay. Mm-hmm. And as I look at the picture, I can remember some of the other kids in the class and some of the other girls. And I'm looking at the girls. And I'm saying, how is it possible that I didn't recognize how pretty she was?
Yeah.
What the heck was going on in my mind at that time? And I can remember being in school and having crushes, on everybody who didn't want to have to give me the time of day. And so what was wrong with me? Why didn't I just find the girls who wanted something to do with me?
Yeah.
See, I was stupid. I was stupid. I don't know. Troy Pummill and Judy Day are on the phone. So can I ask you guys a question? Would this work for somebody young, like 16, or is this for somebody who's already been around the block a few times?
It would work for somebody young, but probably somebody who is a little bit more mature and knows themselves, because really the key is to be able to find somebody like you. You really need to know who you are first.
Well, one of the questions, because I don't usually use the cheat sheet questions that are sent to me, but I do have a question on here that I wanted to ask you. Well, let me tell you how I would answer it first, if you don't mind. The question is, if I'm genuinely interested in someone, but there's no immediate chemistry, what should I do? If somebody younger said to me, what should I do? I'd say, just find somebody else. There's plenty of fish in the sea. What is your answer to that question?
That's right. Find somebody else.
Oh, good.
Plenty of fish in the sea. Exactly. Mm-hmm. You're looking for someone whom with you share an amazing connection. When we go on a first date, we don't go on a first date to build connection. We go on a first date to discover if a connection already exists.
I like that.
But when two people get together, they cannot forget about the uniqueness of self. There has to be some kind of differences between them. And then when you do have those differences and then you hash them out, you have to respect the opinion of the other person.
And what we find is that when you're alike at a really basic level, like the level of your values and the level of how you look at life, even when there's differences, because you share the same values, you often don't have the same type of friction. To give a real easy example is, let's say we both value money in a way that allows us to spend freely for what really makes our heart sing. So in that way, maybe what makes his heart sing is having an expensive car, and what makes my heart sing is going to loads of personal growth classes that cost a bunch of money. Well, that could cause friction in some relationships, but because we both value money the same and both value being able to do the things in life that really bring us joy, then we wouldn't maybe fight about that money, where another couple would if they didn't have the same underlying values.
On the website, magicalmatches.com, which I'm on, I clicked the arrow that said this is where you start or whatever it said. Now I'm on a page with pictures of people kissing and hugging. And, and the first step towards finding deep love, it says, is reading and rating our 6 mirror profiles. Explain what this does.
So the mirror profile, it allows you to see yourself in that profile. So you go through these 6 profiles and you rate them for how well they mirror you. And when you're finished, you end up with a profile that really is a good mirror of who you are. Because that's what you're looking for. You're looking for your mirror, your twin.
Oh, wow. I don't know if I want to find somebody who looks like me.
Well, hopefully, Larry's not going to look like me.
Hopefully he's right. Yes.
Is that good, though? Is that healthy to find someone that's totally like yourself?
Here's the deal, right? 50 years we've been going at this traditional relationship of friction, compromise, and work. Relationships are work, right? For 50 years we've been doing this. And for 50 years we've been struggling and divorcing and fighting. And it just doesn't work. So when we take a look at things like twin souls, which is a metaphysical description basically of soulmates or identical twins, we instead we copy a pattern where we create relationships that don't have any friction, where people are highly alike. And instead of fighting, all we want to do is be together and have deep love. I can't remember the last time we had an argument. We never argue. All we want to do is sit on the couch underneath a blanket and just be with each other. And that's way better than the friction that people normally have.
Yeah. It's not all in the family, is it? It's not Archie and Edith Bunker.
Yeah.
but that's what we think that it is, because that's what we've been sold, right?
Well, we're always told that opposites attract, but it sounds like what you're saying is likes attract.
Well, opposites attract, but then they kill each other.
Well, but, all the romantic comedy movies basically show some guy who's not interested at all, and in fact just couldn't care less, and maybe he's even a jerk. Mm-hmm. But for some reason they end up together later on in the movie, right?
Yeah, but the movie never shows what happens 20 years later.
That's a good point. Yeah, they're kissing on the Empire State Building, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't know what happens at the bottom of the elevator.
Exactly. Judy and I watched The Adjustment Bureau the other day. Are you familiar with that movie?
No.
Great movie. And it's probably, I would suggest it to your viewers, it's probably the closest movie in Hollywood that really sort of describes the mirror effect. Although we don't know whether they're really mirrors, there's a connection between the two that is, you just know, they know that they're meant to be together. And it's beyond chemistry, it's beyond attraction, it's something that's much, much deeper. Great movie for taking in and beginning to understand what we're talking about.
So that's a really good point, because when you do meet a mirror, it tends to take away all those doubts that you usually have, like, should I see him again? Is there enough going on here? When you really meet your mirror, you're like, wow, yeah, this is the guy.
Yeah, it's profound.
So did looks play any role at all for you two?
Yes.
Yeah, we're attracted to each other for sure.
Troy, you should have answered that quicker. I think
Oh, big time.
Judy answered it real quick. Yeah, he was a handsome guy. And you know what I've noticed too? You're an inventor, and it says in your profile, Judy, right? Troy?
Yes.
Troy's an inventor, right? Did I say it right?
Yes.
And Judy, it says you hold a patent. So there's something there. Your brains work as far as creating things.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're both patent holders. Yeah. Absolutely.
And does your program help the people that have children? Because sometimes when it's just the man and the woman and there's no other commitments, it's easier than if you have to provide a home for children.
Yeah, great question, Robin. Yeah, we take all of it into account. Logistics, we call those logistics, include the family and where you live and how far you are apart from each other and what your political views are. All of those things have to be accounted for because love doesn't conquer all. We know that it doesn't. Everything really needs to sort of line up and be right for a couple to truly thrive.
So what are you doing for Valentine's Day? What are you two doing?
Interviews.
Yeah, interviews. Somebody out there is going to spend Valentine's Day alone, and they're going to. Now, how long would this take? I want to give away the one copy you sent. Oh, you're a cute couple. I see the picture on the back of the book.
They're very cute.
Oh, you're a nice looking couple. All right. I have a copy of the book. It's called The Mirror Effect. If you want the copy that was sent to us, call me right now, 622-9622, 6 Steps to Finding Your Magical Match Using Online Dating. It is written by Troy and Judy. Both of you wrote this, right?
We did.
Yes. And so call me if you want it. The rest of us have to go buy it. I want to make sure we get that information out there. How do we do this? Well, you said you get it when you subscribe to the magicalmatches.com, right?
We do. Yes.
Is that the only way to buy it? Sorry, Robin. I just want to get the information out about the book. Is there any other way to buy the book?
It's available on Amazon and in bookstores.
Oh, okay.
Can people use this book if they're already in a relationship and they have years between them and their relationship is waning?
No, that doesn't work for us. We only really talk to singles.
Oh, okay.
As a matter of fact, our first mirror law is if it's work, it's wrong. So we want to help people, find relationships that don't have friction, and we start that from the very beginning.
So we don't really like to talk to married people because a lot of people, once you've made your choice, a lot of people really want to work on it and they want to see if they can salvage something. If somebody was single and they were dating and they were wondering if they should keep on dating, I would say that they could read the book. But if things aren't working, our book would probably lead them in the direction of, like you said earlier, there's plenty of fish in the sea, and to start over and get something that is really working well.
That's good advice.
Remember the Pina Colada song where he's looking for somebody else even though he's with them, and then he finds the same woman?
Yeah.
Remember
that? Awesome. Isn't that great?
I don't know if I'm dating myself with all these references. Archie Bunker, Pina Colada song, discotheques.
Right there with you.
We're all together.
Does finance play a huge role in the happiness of two singles finding each other?
I think a little bit, and I think finance plays a role, again, more in the mirroring than necessarily having money. For an example, again, it's always, people always might think, well, I'd like somebody who has money and works really hard, even though I don't want to work hard and I don't want any money. I just want to be taken care of. And in the end, unless that's something that people agree to because they're raising children and they've decided on a division of labor and nobody's going to be resentful, but it's something that they value and agree to, a lot of times the inequality will breed resentment. So we usually find that I have friends who both of them are not very ambitious in how much money they make, but they're very happy and they live on very little, where other people I know are very ambitious on what they make and they both are the same way, and they're very happy living on more.
Makes sense.
Interesting.
Yeah. I don't think Princess Diana. Well, she died, but I mean, I don't think she would have gone I don't think she would have been stupid. I used to have friends who told me that, Larry, you're stupid. Not stupid, but stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had friends tell me that all the time. You're dating her and you're stooping.
Yes.
I know.
And the inequality does eventually breed resentment, which comes in between a couple.
Yes. Well, you two are a delight. Thank you for being on the air with us today. Have a great Valentine's Day. I think you're going to bring a lot of people together. That's what I truly believe, and that's a wonderful thing.
It's a wonderful book.
Thanks so much, Larry and Robin. It was really great to be here with you.
Go to magicalmatches.com. You'll see the website, and you'll find information on the book. Plus, you can get it on Amazon and all the bookstores. It's called The Mirror Effect. And call us if you need that repeated. Plus, we recorded this, so you can share this video, even though it's just top of my head and Robin. Troy and Judy, thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be right back. This is WOCA Ocala.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. The president formally asking Congress for authorization to use force against ISIS.
Warning ISIS poses a grave threat. President Obama has delivered a draft resolution to Congress authorizing military force against the terror group. The Obama administration has relied on authorization passed in 2001 and 2002 to justify its months-long campaign of airstrikes against ISIS in Iraq and